Hello, Team Easy Dating. I am so freaking pumped up for today's interview. I've got the most exciting man in Brooklyn, Keishorne Scott. And let me tell you about Keishorne real quick. I met him a month ago, and this was one of those times where we were doing a panel of five, and I just resonated with Keishorne because this guy, you can tell, and you're going to see through this interview, he just wants to help people and just an absolute good individual that really cares about people, really wants to serve. And I just like gravitated towards Keishorne because he's such a good guy. And I was so excited. I'm like, Keishorne, I got to share you with all my following because you are so helpful and such a great person. So Keishorne, say hi to everybody.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing? My name is Keishorne Scott. Thank you so much for that introduction. I really appreciate it. And I'm a good guy, man. You're an amazing guy. You have a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I'm just happy to connect with people like you, like-minded, intellectual, and people who really care, because you don't really find that too often. But I'm really appreciative of this moment and you even having me on your channel, man, to bless, your followers.
My pleasure, man. I'm so happy you're here. We're going to hop right into it. We got to get to it. I want to hear your story a little bit because I actually never even asked you. But what made you commit to your wife? What made her so special and your queen?
I will have to start off with, I wasn't always a perfect man or even a good man. I came out of a very toxic relationship where, my ex left me and I was really in a bad position in my life. And I wanted to do better. A lot of women say, what, I'm trying to change my man. I'm trying to change this person. You can't change someone who doesn't see a problem with their actions. You can't change someone who doesn't even see that they need to change behavior themselves. So once I noticed that I needed to change behavior, I started changing who I was, what I do, how I talk, how I spoke, how I carry myself as a man, because I wanted to be the right man, the right father, the right individual for the right woman. When I came in contact with my wife, I wasn't even looking. She kept on inviting me to church actually all the time, over and over and over again. I told you, I don't really want to go. I don't know you too well. And before that, to be honest with you, I don't think I ever told you this, but we were both engaged at the same time. She was engaged and I was engaged at the same time to totally different people. I knew her fiance, but she never knew the woman I was engaged with. And he brought my books for her. He used to do a lot of stuff. He was on my page all the time, taking advice. He used to call me up, or inbox me, hey, I love your advice. And we never spoke. We never had no intentions. I never, crossed any boundaries. And this was online. And I used to look at her pictures, but I never really made a move. Years passed. And then eventually, we met up. We went out to eat. We took her out. And before that, it just connected all for just an online presence. The first time I met her was on Facebook, 2011. Years passed. Now we're married. And I'm committed to her because she's also committed to me. It's not a one-sided thing. We work hard for this, and marriage is tough. It has its ups and downs. It has its ins and outs. But you have to know why you're here, the ultimate purpose. I love you. I care about you. And if you're hurting, I'm hurting. If you need help, I'm going to be the person to help you. We're best friends. I got your back. You have my back. And that's the kind of connection that we need, in order to grow and have fulfilling marriages. Never to be selfish, but to be selfless.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What an interesting story and kind of crazy all at the same time. What do you think, like, if you had to narrow it down, what do you think is that one or two things that causes a man to commit to a woman?
Well, the first thing I would say is his level of commitment to himself, because you're not going to know commitment if you're not committed to your own self-love, your own self-being, your own self-image. When you don't love yourself, you're not committed to who you are as a person, then you will always try to find your identity in other things and other people. So you will never fully give somebody 100% you. It will always be like 50%. It will always be like 30%. It will always be 20%. So one of the first things is getting in tune with who you really are. Be committed to the person that's staring you back in the mirror. If you want a relationship, if you want a good relationship, then you have to be in a good relationship position. If you want love, well, you have to love yourself. You have to be committed to yourself. You have to be committed to who you are. And only through that, you can reciprocate that same kind of commitment to someone else. The second thing to be committed to a woman is that woman has to be aligned. You have to be aligned with one another, right? You can't be separate. You have to be going in the same direction. It's a lot of certain things. For example, I was committed to my wife because, she liked business. She was into certain things. I'm not that tall, as you can see. So, she had to be shorter than me, even though I had a lot of women in my life who were taller than me. For some reason, I don't know how I attracted those. But for that to happen, you have to build that kind of connection, that really good, positive connection with you and her. And it goes beyond appearance, right? It goes with the heart. And you have to get to know this person. You have to develop a relationship. Relationships have to be consistently developing, right? Because you're not going to, for example, like you told me that, you're with your fiance, now and everything like that. And that's beautiful. But you will always, always, always be changing. You will always get to know this person. You will never completely know this person. That's why when people say, I know you, you don't know this person. You're consistently getting to know this person. This person's consistently growing. This person's consistently getting better. And with it, so it's more of knowing what you want and reciprocating communicating with that person what you want. And if you see any kind of red flags or warning signs, then kind of slow down, back up, and really see if it's, a relationship that you really want to invest in.
That's an awesome answer. I absolutely love that. We're going to totally switch topics. Since I'm easy dating coach and I'm constantly trying to make dating easier, I want to give you a quote that I got from, I don't know if do you know Brian Howie? Well, anyway, his little mantra, which I really gravitated towards, was women want men to try harder and men want women to make dating easier. And so for the men, because I never talk about men when I'm always talking about women. I got to take care of my women real quick. Men, try harder. What that means is text her, call her, show up, ask her on dates, bring her flowers, be receptive, make perfect eye contact, nod, listen to her, show her you care, be there for her, support system, listen to her. Like, just make some effort, show up. How am I going to prove to her that I care? All right. I never do those rants that I just beat up on my men because this is all about helping women. So I just had to do something for my ladies real quick. But Keishorne, I need your help. Women need your help. How can they make it easier so that a man can deliver and make them happy? Talk to me.
I would say one of the number one things is understanding, right? Understand that every man is not the same. Every man is not the person that you lost in the past, the person who did you dirty in the past, the person who betrayed you, who cheated on you, who made you, come out of character, who verbally abused you, physically abused you. That is not the person that you deserve. And that's not the person that, the next person that you're going to date. Everybody is different. So number one, you need to start understanding men, right? Men, we don't like the bickering and the arguing too much, right? Anytime we hear argument or bickering or nagging, we get into a space of isolation. And then we don't want to really talk to you no more. We either want to separate ourselves. We either don't, it turns us off. And it's your fault, but then it's not your fault. It's kind of understanding how to argue, because if you understand your man, you will know that he does not like the confrontation as argument like that. So what you will say is, babe, when you're calmed down, when things are a little bit less steamy, let's talk about this issue. As a man now, we need to say, you know what? She's trying to match my behavior. So what I'll do now is like, you know what, babe? I understand why you're upset. Right now, I'm really pissed off. So let's handle this at a later date. That's perfectly okay. That's perfect. It's not like I'm running away from the problem. Let's just revisit the problem when it's just less anger, less arguing, less, words thrown at each other. Because when you fight in the heat of the moment, you say things that you don't mean. and you will also start bringing up things that you did 5-6 years ago, only to make the person feel bad. So one thing that ladies can do to really understand men, period, is just to understand us. Understand us. And understand that we are all different and we are all fighting our own battles out here, because for men, it's hard out here. We're trying to pay the bills. We're trying to pay the rent. We're trying to be successful. We're hungry. And we're not only trying to be successful for ourselves, we're trying to change our whole entire family's quality of living. And that is always in the back of our mind. You might think that we might look good, dress good, and things might be okay. But at the end of the day, we are struggling with so much, right? Because we want to provide for you. We want to give you the life that we never had. We want to give you a beautiful house because you are ours. You're my woman. We want to give you a house. We want to give you kids. We want to change your entire lifestyle, and we want to do it as a man. We feel we got to get this done. So we will need some kind of love, some kind of understand where we are, understand we don't even need that much. All we need is a little space and the green light from you to support our dreams, to support our goals, to support our mission, and know that we will get there, but we're not going to get there if we're consistently fighting. I don't know about you, but with me, when me and my wife argue, it makes me feel like I can't accomplish nothing. It makes me feel like, you know what, forget, I don't feel like doing no work right now. I don't feel like doing nothing. It makes me feel bad. But when we are in a good place, my energy is on 100. My energy is up there. My self-esteem is up there. When she said, babe, you're doing a good job, you got to know their love language. If you don't know this person's love language, if you don't know that they love appreciation, words of encouragement, right? If they don't like gifts, if they don't love these things, you have to know exactly what makes them smile, what makes them go, what takes them, what makes the energy, pure and beautiful. If you don't know this, then a relationship is going to just crumble.
Wow, that was a lot. So I just want to reiterate like some of his major points, because that was like gold. First off, you're saying the most important thing is have taken a timeout. So if Keishorne's wife realizes that he's not happy, he's got to take a timeout, right, Keishorne?
Absolutely.
Take a timeout. And then also, we got to understand each other's 5 love languages. So probably why Keishorne and I get along, it sounds like you are words of appreciation just like me. So I need to get my compliments. And then once we get them, we're going to start working better. Everything's going to be running a lot better. Now, I got to play devil's advocate for some of my women out there. And this is I'm going to push you a little bit. So, all right. So we got our man that is Keishorne, who's trying to elevate the lifestyle for women. So he's going out there and he's like, I want to make my money and I want to build a better house and I want to provide for my family. But a lot of women these days, they're less concerned about that. In the 1900s, it was like men go out there, you work, women are going to be the housekeeper. But now women are making crazy money and are wildly successful and kicking butt. And now they want a man to just listen and be there and do some of the other things. So I guess my question to you is, what is the balance here and how do we work this dynamic so the man still gets to be the man and the woman gets to be the woman? Like, how do we manage this whole thing?
Well, you said the key word, Mike. You said the key word. The key word is balance. Uh-huh. In today's age, a woman feels like she's so independent, right? That she can do everything by herself. I seen a post recently. She said, I don't need a man to pay my bills. I don't need a man to do anything for me. You just need to be here. So if you don't need a man for anything, what do you need? You don't need anything. Right? But you have to understand how to let a man be a man and a woman, you have to be a woman, right? You have to know when to be vulnerable to a man's love. You have to know when it's okay. If you make more money than him, then it's okay, right? But he has to be okay with it. If you are making more money than a man and he has an issue with it, that's not the right man for you. Because the right man for you is going to say, all right, baby, go get your money, girl. Go get your money, do your thing. I appreciate you. You hardworking. I'm rooting for you. Right? But then you have some men who might be intimidated by a strong woman. And that's not the kind of relationship that you need. But at the end of the day, if the man is not making as much as you, he's still a man. right? So you don't treat him any less. You don't talk to him any less. And when you have an arguments, please do not bring up that you make more money than him in a fight, because that's going to blow everything up and he probably is going to walk out and leave. But it goes with a balance. You have to balance every single thing that happens, right? If you have it all on your own, that's fine. You're going to find a man that's going to complement that. That's all he's going to do. He's going to complement that. And you have to get into a relationship, back to what I was thinking about. It's about pushing each other, motivating each other. It goes beyond just being successful career-wise, because you can be successful, make all the money, be amazing, but your heart is dark. You can't communicate right. You have a bad attitude. You treat the relationship more like a job rather than a love connection, right? So a lot of these things have to do, and you have to find balance. Finding balance starts with the balance in your busy life, because if your exterior life, if everything that's going on in your personal life is not balanced, your relationship life is not going to be balanced either. Everything is a connection to each other. Everything is a connection to each other. Everything represents each other in some kind of way. So if you're consistently working, you're consistently busy, you're consistently going out, you're not going to have time for a relationship. And when you do, you're going to feel like the relationship is taking you away from your job, because since you're making a lot of money over there, you have a lot of power over there. So now that power in your job, in your career, is trickling into your personality. So now if you find a man that's not matching up to that power, you're going to be the man in the relationship. And if he feels like you're not giving him, enough credit of being a man, because I'm still working, I still got the genitalia to say that I'm a man, right? You still have that kind of that kind of power, that kind of image. If you don't have that, then why am I here with you? So a woman, we need to understand how to let a man be a man. And like I said before, Mike, we go through a lot of issues. We have a lot to live up to as a man, right? We have a lot to live up to. We got to work. We got to provide, not even for our wife and our children, but even for our mothers and our fathers and our sisters and our brothers. And then social media, you're responsible for the people on social media. For some weird reason, we've been blessed with a big platform. We've been blessed with a lot of hearts. We've been blessed to help people change their lives. And there's nobody that can do a better job than you in what you do, right? You do what you do. You're the easy dating coach. That's you. Nobody can do a better job than you. That's why you get paid the big bucks. That's why people come to you, right? That's why people come to you. And that's what you have as a man. Even if your business is not doing too good some days, even if you're broke, right? Even if you're living on the street, you're still a man, and you still need to start working hard for certain things. Now, if you have a man who's not putting in no work, the guy is lazy, you're over here supporting him, then that's a conversation that you need to have, and then you move on from that. Because you need somebody that can match your ambition. You need somebody that's going to match your drive. You need somebody that's going to match your energy. And if they don't, then they got to go.
That's spot on. I loved every second of that. That was fantastic. But we got to change gears. What do you think the biggest problem men are having in dating?
One of the biggest problems I feel that men is having with dating is, a lot of women, it's a few reasons, but one of the main reasons is dating women with trust issues, right? Because a lot of men are hurting good women. So when a lot of these good men, right, I'm guessing that's what we're talking about, the good men who are prepared for a relationship, who are ready for a relationship, when they are ready to get into a relationship, they have to deal with so much. You have to deal with your trust issues. We have to convince you that all men are not the same. We have to convince you that I'm not the person that hurts you. I got to convince you that I'm not perfect. I will make mistakes, but it's not a reason for you to leave, right? So we deal with so much things in the dating life on top of our own issues, like we mentioned before. But what I would really, really, really love to say, right, the number one thing is dealing with the transition of really investing your time and really being serious about a relationship. Because if you're a man and you're really trying to pursue this woman, then pursue her with all love, right? Don't play games, like you said, like texting, call them, text them, show that you're interested, in this woman, right? Because once you show that you're interested and you have communication skills, and these are things that you have to build before you even get into a relationship. You got to be relationship ready because you have to meet the requirements of your requirements. You can't be asking for anything you're not willing to give. You can't ask for somebody to be loyal if you're cheating. You can't ask for somebody to be trustworthy when you don't even trust this person. You can't trust somebody to be honest if you're deceiving this person. So you have to meet the requirements of your requirements. You have to meet the criteria that you're trying to that you're asking for. So at the end of the day, you can't be with a woman that you don't trust, who you think that she's every other woman, or you're trying to do dirty, right? Because dating is tricky. A lot of people are wolves in sheep's clothing. A lot, and it's hard because women will say, "Oh my God, you're so amazing," and guys, he only want one thing. And once you get that one thing and he's out, it leaves her back in a position of hurt, of pain. So now she doesn't even want to date no guy. She focuses on her career. Then, like the woman that you described before, she turns into that woman. The woman that's only focused on career, so it gives us enough time to excel because she's not in a relationship. So now when another man comes into play, she's going to treat you like a boy because I already got mine together. You get yours together. Catch up to me. And I don't need you even if you're still here. It doesn't make sense. It won't make sense. So like one thing I will say is also like preparing who you are from the beginning. So when you get into a relationship, you know, you're there fully. You're there 100%. You know, if you can answer that question. Yeah.
Nice. I like that. All right. So you probably don't know this about me, but about 20 years ago, I read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Mm-hmm. And basically it's just saying we're speaking two different languages. Like we're from two different planets. We're speaking two different languages. And that's why we don't understand each other. And that's why we're getting in these fights. And that's why I like when I'm just hanging out with one of the guys, like we communicate the same language. There's less,
yeah.
We're less fighting. But anyway, we've got to fix this so that, you know, at times the man needs to come onto the woman's planet and speak her language. And at times the woman needs to come over to his planet and speak his language. But once again, we're working with women right now. So how can the women start speaking the man's language so that there's less fighting, less tension, and more love?
I would say take a step outside of yourself, ladies. Take yourself outside of your mindset. Whatever you think, whatever you want to say, whatever you imagine, just erase that, right? And put yourself in the shoes of a man for at least one day. Understand everything that we're going through. If you're arguing, say, baby, like, have conversations. Conversations and information changes situations. A lot of times, both sex, but like you said, we're talking about women. A lot of times, women, they don't like to talk, right? They don't like to communicate effectively. And if they do, and I say they don't because a lot of them agree, oh, I communicate effectively. You have to understand the personality of the person that you're dating. Everybody's different. For example, Mike, if a woman's arguing with you, you might listen and stay there and be like, all right, I understand. For me, I might say, you know what? No, I don't want to talk about it. You're wrong. Because if I feel like I'm passionate about something, I'm going to let you know about it. But if you feel like you're passionate about something, you might say, you know what? All right, I understand this. You know what? Okay. And you might agree there, but then later on at night, when everything is calmed down, you might go back and say to yourself, you know what, babe, you were right. But listen, let's have a conversation about it because at times I feel like you're good at communication. But my personality is different. Now, that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I have no father. You say I have no father. You can say that you was probably adopted. You had no parent. There's so much in our past that will come up and that will show through our personality in the present that was never, ever, ever dealt with. That now you're telling me I can't communicate right, I can't talk right, or I'm too attached, is because when I was growing up, I didn't have a father. When I was growing up, I was being abused. So I don't trust people too much. I'm sorry. When I was growing up, I see my mother and my father argue all the time, and my father always won. Or my father was right, but my mother always won, and my father always was the one that's always losing. So now for me, I made a decision in my life. I will never lose because I see my father and my mother argue, and you know, she's always telling him what to do, and he will leave the house. So I'm going to leave the house too, because when he comes back, he's always good. So you have to understand the history of a person's personality, a history of what makes them tick. And that will only happen through conversation. If I'm in love with you and you're in love with me and we can't have a conversation about my past, my present, and my future, then it makes no sense. You have to know me, not part of me, not 25%, not 30%. You have to know 100% who I am. Because only then I invited you into my heart. I invited you into my life. So when you ask me, babe, what's wrong? Men, we love to say, no, I'm good. Because we feel like you can't understand me. If I tell you what is going on for real, you won't understand because you're not a man. But I would jump on the phone with Mike and be like, yo, Mike, let me tell you what's going on, bro. Like, I'm stressed out right now. And then you'll be like, yeah, bro, I understand. Then we can have that conversation. We need to learn how to shift that conversation with our wife, with our girlfriend, with the partner that we're with. Because only then we'll build trust, we'll build proper communication. Because like I always tell people, there's 3 levels of cheating, right? There's 3 levels of cheating. There's emotional, affair, and it's just a hit and run, right? So when you're not getting that communication from each other, you're going to try to get that communication elsewhere. So that's when you start texting somebody else that you're not supposed to be texting because you feel like, my wife don't understand me, my girl don't understand me, whatever. You never really took time to invest in that communication. It takes time for somebody to get to open up. You don't meet friends in one day and you tell this person every single thing about you. It has to develop with time. So a lot of times within that whole entire, dating aspect and for women understanding men, it starts with the communication and understanding. There's a lot of books out there that you can read, but have a lot of conversations with dating coaches like you. I'm sure that you know both sides to this, right? I know both sides to this. So at times we need to understand that. And once you have a conversation with a man, with your spouse, and you really talk, you say, yo, what's wrong? Let's just have a conversation. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what pisses you off. Tell me what makes you happy. Because I know what pisses my wife off all the time. I can say one word and she'll be mad. I could sneeze a certain way and I know exactly what to do to piss her off, right? One thing I could do is say, oh, didn't I tell you to do this? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Once I say I forgot, she's like, I told you like 5 times. Sorry, I forgot. I have a lot of stuff going on in my mind. I'm thinking about so much things. So, it's so much things that, that you can get them upset at, but you got to take time to really you have to make time for the things that really matter. And nothing else in your life will flourish if you guys are not on the same page. You will always feel like you're a burden. You will always feel that you're not in a relationship, but you're more tolerating this person. When you get to a point where you're just tolerating a person in your life, the relationship is over.
Absolutely. Let me make sure I understood this whole concept. It sounds like you want to come from a place of absolute curiosity to get to know the person. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So like the story that I would use to hopefully make people truly understand this is, let's say like I'm going to be a car salesman and I'm going to be like, all right, Keishorne, I got this Aston Martin for you. Like it's so amazing. It's got like 12 cylinders and it goes really fast and the seats are like these perfect leather seats and blah, blah, blah. This Aston Martin's great. And you're like, I mean, cool, Mike. Like, yeah, it seems like a nice car. But then Keishorne in his head, I never asked him what he wanted in a car. He's like, well, I've got like a 4-year-old and I've got things that are way more important than having this silly Aston Martin. I'd rather buy something more economical. Like I want like a Toyota Camry. Like it's reasonable. I can keep some money in my pocket. Instead of spending $120,000, I'm going to spend $25,000. And I've got a car, it's safer. It's way safer for my kid. It's way safer for my queen, my wife. It's got everything I need. And he's like, yeah, I just want 4 doors. I don't need 12 cylinders. I live in Brooklyn. Like I can't go very fast. There's a lot of cars in the way. I don't need a race car. And so if I would have been curious and asked him what he wanted and why he needed it, I would have had understood him. And that's what we need to bring to our relationships is instead of like when someone says like, roar, and we like jump on them, like they say something that triggers us, instead of getting mad, let's get curious. Like, why do you feel that way? What happened in your past? And I never even knew Keishorne's story about his parents. And if I never asked him then I would just assume things and make an ass out of myself instead of getting to know him. So in all our relationships, let's get really curious. Is that kind of what you're preaching over there?
Yep, you got to get curious in the other person, know exactly what you're getting into. If you're going to be spending your life with someone, you might as well know a lot about the person before you get hit with a lot of things that pop up. You're like, oh my gosh, well, I didn't know that. Well, you never asked. So you got to get curious about your love life. Absolutely right.
Nice. All right, man. I grilled you on what I want to know, and now it's my time to let you do what you want to do. What is the single best piece of advice that you have for women? Talk about whatever you want.
Well, I will start off with saying, find out what it feels like and what it looks like to start loving yourself the right way, right? Because know what you want. Like, spend time loving yourself, investing in yourself, know exactly what you want. Number one, also know who you are. Know who you are, what you want, and where you want to go, right? Don't just live to live. Know why you're waking up in the morning, right? Know what you want out of a relationship, what you want out of a man, what you want out of yourself. So when you meet somebody, it's not like, oh, I wonder if this person's right for me. You will know by the questions that you ask this person. You will know by the conversations that you have, right? And also, another advice I would say on top of loving yourself and getting to know yourself is healing yourself, taking time to fix any unwanted issues from your past. You've been damaged, you've been hurt, you have low self-esteem, you have been abused, you have been whatever it may be. You have resentment from your past ex, you have issues from your past relationships. Fix that. Because one thing you don't want to do is go into a new relationship with all the baggage, all the junk, and all the stress from your past. And then you revisit those same emotions again when you're with somebody new. So you have to fix your heart. You have to heal your heart. You have to become a better person. You have to love yourself. You have to invest in yourself. And you have to understand that this is a process. It won't happen immediately, but it will happen definitely. But you have to invest in yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to care about yourself. You have to push yourself, because at times you feel like love isn't for me. Relationships isn't for me. Every guy that I meet online, they either doing me dirty, or they're not interested, or they don't want to commit. But you have to commit to yourself first. You have to love for yourself. And you have to understand that a relationship is an addition to your already beauty. A relationship, everything is already an addition to your beautiful self, an addition to your amazing self. So you can't let the misconceptions and the false perceptions of other people determine who you are. You are always beautiful. You are always amazing. You are always special. You just have to tap deep into that and take nobody's, negative opinion on your life and choose as facts. It's not facts. So I will start off with, I will say that, if you are damaged, if you are hurt, if you are upset, if you're angry, fix that before you get into 2019. If you have to work with coaches, if you want to improve your dating life, you got Mike right here. You have instant access to professionals who've been doing this for years and who can get you from level 1 to level 10 in a second. In a second. So, that's what I would say, Mike.
Yes. All right, guys. We just got a little itty bitty taste of Keishorne. And I think you can see very clearly why I gravitate towards this guy. I mean, he just gives amazing advice. And you see his passion. He wants this for you. He really, really wants this for you. And so I know that you guys probably want to get more Keishorne. So what we're going to do is down there, I'm going to put a free gift that he wants to give you so that you can go find him. And also, you got to go find his Instagram channel. This guy's crazy. He's constantly posting, but he's got 100,000 followers. So obviously he's onto something special. That's why so many people are following him, and he's, such a big name in our industry. But anyway, Keishorne, what gift can we give to my folks so that they can start following you and getting more of you?
Well, I have a heartbreak cheat sheet, which means if you're it tells you how to get over a breakup in 10 steps. I believe it was 10 steps. It was a heartbreak cheat sheet. You can have a lot of people who print it out. A lot of women take pictures of it. Men too, they take pictures of it and they put it on their fridge or their wall and they check it off, on things that they've completed. I also have a free 30-minute video, 3 steps to heal your heart, start loving yourself, and start living your best life. So those are free things. So, you know, you could go and watch the video, you can go download the cheat sheet and really start living and getting your life in order to a better life.
Nice. That sounds awesome. And that's so exciting. I don't think I have anything like that for my people. So this is something brand new for them. So guys, if that resonates with you, definitely go down there, get your hands on it. I'll put it in there for you. Dude, thank you so much. I know how busy you are. You've got a little kid running around, and I know you're always constantly posting free content. Like, you're amazing with how much amazing stuff you give your people. So I really, really appreciate you finding time for me. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Mike. You're the best, man. I love you and you're amazing, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.